Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss about introduction of cost accounting. Okay, introduction of cost accounting. Before going to that, the financial accountancy. The main objective of financial accountancy, recorded the data, from that data, prepare financial statements. Prepare financial statements. So, the financial statements reveals profit or losses and liabilities and assets. Okay. So, the main objective of financial accountancy is recorded the financial data. The data deals with monetary transactions only. Those transactions are monetary transactions, that transactions are recorded by the financial accountant. Then the financial accountant prepared financial statements. You know very well. The financial statements are two types. One is profit and loss account, second one is balance sheet. Okay, the profit and loss account reveals profit or losses. Next one, the balance sheet reveals assets or liabilities. Okay, so the financial accountant only concentrate on preparation of financial statement only. The financial accounting does not concentrate on cost. The financial accounting does not concentrate on controlling of cost. So the controlling of cost is also plays key role nowadays. So in the limitations of financial accounting, it is very essential to introduce the cost accountancy for every organization. What is the duty of cost accountancy? So the duty of cost accountancy is, the main purpose of cost accountancy is, the main purpose of cost accounting is to provide cost information to the management. Once again I am telling that the main purpose of cost accounting is to provide cost information to the management. So the cost accountancy gives full-fledged information about cost to the managers. The cost accounting introduced costing techniques for avoid of wastage expenditure. The cost accountancy introduced costing techniques for increasing the employees' efficiency. The cost accountancy gives the full-fledged information to the managers about the cost. It is very helpful for making the decisions to the managers. The financial accountancy recorded each and every transaction on subject wise. What is the meaning of subject? Subject wise means the costs are recorded in the books as its nature. But the cost accountancy recorded the data in the books objective wise manner. Objective wise manner means why the cost is incurred. What is the reason to impose the cost? Why were expended the cost? So these are all the situations are considered when one cost is recorded in the books. Okay, so the financial accountancy recorded the cost in the books subject wise manner, but the cost accountancy recorded the cost in object wise manner. So that's why the cost accountancy controlled each and every cost. The cost accountancy avoid the wastage cost. Whenever avoid the wastage cost, automatically the cost price will be decreased. Whenever cost price will be decreased, automatically the sales will be increased. Whenever sales will be increased, automatically we are getting the profit. That's why in nowadays that there is very useful to introduce cost accountancy in every organization. Once again, final conclusion that the introduction of cost accountancy, financial accounting concentrated on preparation of financial statements only. Financial accountancy does not concentrate on control of cost, but cost accounting provide full-fledged information regarding cost to the managers. So it is very helpful to make the decision making. It is very helpful to control the cost to the managers or directors. So cost accounting is the most important plays the role in each and every organization. Okay, look at that functions of cost accounting. What are the functions of cost accounting? It is first one, to determine the true cost every product. What is the meaning of true cost? True cost means avoid the wastage cost, avoid the duplicate cost. So the main functions of cost accounting is to determine the true cost every product. Second one, to serve as guide to price fixing. To serve as guide to price fixing. This is the major function of cost accounting. And next one, to indicate the management any inefficiencies and wastage. This is the most important thing for introduction of cost accountancy. Why we are introduced to the cost accountancy? The cost accountancy give full-fledged information regarding cost. Then the managers avoid inefficiencies and wastage. Okay, and waste cost if any. Next one, to provide reliable and comparative data for preparation of estimates. Cost accountancy very helpful for preparation of tenders and quotations. So cost accountancy gives the valuable information for preparation of tenders and quotations to the managers. Next one, to install and implement cost control system for the control of expenditure, on material, labor and overheads. These are all the cost elements. So to install, implement cost control system for the control of expenditure, for the control of material, for the control of labor expenditure, for the control of overhead expenditure. The management introduced cost accountancy in their organizations. So, what are the functions of cost accounting? Before going to that, I want to give one explanation. Why we are introduced to cost accountancy in our organization? Cost accountancy provide cost information to the managers. Whenever cost accountancy provide cost information, it is very helpful for making the tenders, for making the quotations, for avoiding duplicate expenses, for avoiding wastage, for avoiding inefficiencies, if any. So these are all the major useful for introduce the cost accountancy in every organization. So once again, what is the major functions of cost accounting? Right, functions of cost accounting: to determine the true cost every product. For calculation of true cost every product, we want to be introduced to cost accountancy. Right. Second one, to serve as a guide to price fixing. So the cost accountancy gives the full-fledged information regarding price fixing. The cost accountancy gives the full-fledged information regarding price policies. if any. So, for price fixing, the cost accountancy gives full-fledged information to the managers. Next one, to provide reliable and comparative data for preparation of estimates. Next one, to indicate the management any inefficiencies and wastage. Next one, to install and implement cost control system for the control expenditure on material, labor and overheads. So, the cost accountancy introduced in every organization, okay, for controlling of cost. This is the main functions of cost accountancy. And what are the advantages of cost accounting? What are the advantages of cost accounting? First one, advantages to the management. Cost accounting is very helpful to the managers for controlling cost, for allocation of cost, for segregation of cost, okay, for price fixation policies. So, about that, all the information provides to the managers. The cost accounting provides to the management. The cost accounting provides information to the management for making price fixation. Next, the cost accountancy provide information to the managers for making a tenders and quotations. Next one, the cost accountancy provide information to the managers to indicate any inefficiencies and wastage. Next, the cost accountancy provide, okay, information to the managers, okay, for controlling of materials, for controlling of labor expenditure, for controlling of overhead expenditures. So, the cost accountancy provide all the information regarding to cost to the managers. Then the managers are make decisions for controlling the cost. And also the managers implemented costing techniques for better results in our organization. Right? Next one, creditors. Cost accountancy provides information to the creditors for the organization financial strength. Cost accountancy provides to the creditors financial strength, financial information to the creditors. So, then the creditors make a decision to give the loans for the company or not, to the company or not. And also the bankers, on the basis of cost accounting information, they are also make the decisions. So, they are also make the decisions for giving the loans. Next one, advantages to the employees. Advantages of employees. Cost accountancy is very helpful to employees. How it is? Cost accountancy calculate the efficiency of the employees. The wages paid on the basis of efficiency to the employee. Then it is very useful to the employees. If the employee is more effective compared with the others, then the employee getting the bonuses. That means the cost accountancy calculate monetary transactions and non-monetary transactions also. So the calculation of efficiency is very advantage to every employee. On the basis of his efficiency, the wages paid to the every worker. On the basis of his efficiency, he getting the bonuses. So this situation is arised in cost accounting only. This situation is not arised in financial accounting. Because why? The financial accounting considered only monetary transactions. The financial accountancy not to be considered non-monetary transactions. That's why. Next one, advantages to the public. How the public are advantages? How it is advantageous to the public? The cost accountancy is very it is very useful to the public. Why? How it is? That means cost accountancy avoid wastage cost. Cost accountancy reveals inefficiencies. Cost accountancy avoid duplicate expenditures. Cost accountancy gives the information profit or losses in process wise, product wise, active wise. Then the organization control the cost. Whenever the organization control the cost, automatically the prices will be decreased. So when the prices will be decreased, then it is very useful to the public. The quality material, same quality material available at lowest cost to the public in the market. Because why it is? So whenever the cost accountancy implemented in the organization, it is very useful, it is very helpful, decreased the wastage cost. It is very useful, decreased the lowest cost, decreased the price. It is available at lowest price in the market. So it is very advantage to the public. Next one, advantages to the public enterprises. So the public enterprises, advantages to the public enterprises. The public enterprises means here, so it facilitates the formulation of policies with public finance. Okay, next one, that is industries, business, commerce, etc. Advantages to the public enterprises means here, the public enterprises are concentrated to service to the people. The public enterprises are not to be concentrated on much more profits. That's why the public enterprises wanted to decrease the cost. The public enterprises wanted to accurate cost. Because why? They doesn't want to earn the much more profits. They wanted only service to the people. So then it facilitates the formulation of policies with public finance, industries, business, commerce, etc. Next, it is very advantageous to the government. So cost accountancy very advantageous to the government. So cost accountancy is very useful for the taxation. So it gives the full-fledged information to the government for imposed taxes or etc. to the government. So these are all the advantages of cost accountancy. What is the first one? Advantages to the managers. Cost accountancy provide full-fledged cost information to the managers. Next one. So advantages to the creditors. Cost accountancy provide financial information to the creditors for making the decisions, give a loans or not. Next one, cost accountancy calculate employees' efficiencies. On the basis of employees' efficiency, paid wages. That's why it is very advantageous to the employees. Next one, advantages to the public. So, when the cost accountancy introduced in organization, automatically the materials available at lowest cost in the market, because avoid wastage cost. Next one, advantages to the public enterprises. The public enterprises are service oriented organizations. So, in that movement, the cost accountancy gives the accurate cost, and also it is very helpful for making the policies. Okay, public finance, industries, business or commerce, etc. Next one, advantages to the government. So, cost accountancy, it is very useful to the government. So, these are all the advantages of cost accounting. Next one, what are the limitations of cost accounting? These are the limitations of cost accounting. Some of the persons are argue it is unnecessary. Whenever it is a small scale industries, each and every activity under control of management. In that movement, the cost accountancy is not necessary. Yes, it is. Whenever it is small scale industry, then the cost accountancy is not necessary. But whenever it is big organization, the cost accountancy must be necessary. Because why? Each and every cost is not under the control of management. Then the cost accountancy is very useful to control the each and every cost. Next one, expensive. So, some of the persons argue that the cost accountancy is very expensive at the time of installation of costing, at the time of implemented costing methods. Some of the stuff is required. So, cost accountancy is most expensive factor. Some of the persons are argue like that, but it is not sure. But in that argue, there is no strength, because whenever we are getting more result before implementation cost accounting, after implementation of cost accounting, whenever we are comparing both the result, we are getting much more profits. Okay, then we implemented costing system in our organization. Next one, failure to many cases. Yes, if failure the many cases, it is not affected on implementation of costing system. It is affected only on inefficiency of employees or managers. Cost accountancy system failure, if the cost accounting system is failure, that is not to the cost accounting, that is only with the effect of employees or managers only. If the managers are inefficient, in that time the cost accountancy may be failure. They are not giving the full-fledged information to the cost accountant. The cost accountant cannot do anything. If the financial system is not in corrective mode, if the financial record are not in proper way, then the costing system may be failure, definitely. So, the failure is only on the shoulders of employees or managers only. So, this argues has no strength. But the cost accountancy is very, 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 very essential for each and every organization. Once again, I am telling that financial accountancy does not concentrate on cost. The financial accountancy concentrated about only to preparation of financial statements only. It does not control the cost, but the cost accountancy controlled each and every cost. The cost accountancy gives the full-fledged information to the managers. Whenever the managers got full-fledged cost information, then the cost must be in under control of managers. So these are all the functions. These are all the functions and advantages and limitations of cost accounting. Next one, what is the meaning of cost center? And what is the meaning of unit of cost? And what is the meaning of cost audit? Look at that one, cost center. Cost center for identification easily. Look at that. Cost center is a location. Cost center is a location, person or item of equipment for which cost may be ascertained, and used for the purpose of cost control. Okay, once again I am telling that is the meaning of that cost center. Cost center means a cost center is a location, person or item of equipment for which costs may be ascertained and used for purpose of cost control. Okay, so for cost control, the cost center is most essential. We are paying the cost for which purpose? We are paying the cost for which cost center? So regarding for all this information, the cost center is most important. The cost centers are classified two categories. One is production cost center, second one is service cost center. Production cost center engaged daily production services. Daily production activities. Next one, service cost centers. Service cost center aids to production cost centers. Service cost center, service cost centers only for the help of production cost centers. Okay, so this is the cost centers. So what is the meaning of cost center? The cost center is a location for identification of cost, for allocation of cost, for allotment of cost. Why we are allotment, why we are allocation? For cost control, for full-fledged information cost. The cost center is most essential. Okay, so this is the meaning of cost center. Next one, unit of cost. Unit of cost, look at that. Unit of cost is a small unit. Unit of cost is a small unit, which is normally to the business. Yes, it is common for every business. And with which expenditure may most conveniently identified. It is differ to every organization to organization. Once again, unit of cost. A unit of cost is a small unit which is natural to the business and with which expenditure may most conveniently identified. Okay, it is differ for every organization. First one, bricks, unit cost per 1000 bricks, electricity per unit, steel work per ton, books for 1000 books or etc. The unit cost is to be calculated like this. Next one, cost audit. What is the meaning of cost audit? So in cost accountancy, there are several cost records is necessary. There are several cost books are maintained by the cost accountant. So whenever that all the transactions must be completed auditing process, then that costing transactions are related to the particular organization. That cost activities or that all the costs are allocated definitely to the production. Thus costs are definitely related to the business transactions whenever the cost audit is completed. So the cost audit is very useful for external audit at the time of statutory auditing process. So that is called cost audit. Cost audit means check the each and every transactions. Those transactions are recorded in cost books. That is called as cost audit. The cost audit is also most important for each and every organization. It is very helpful to the external auditor. Okay, once again, what is meant by cost center? A cost center is a location. Once again, I am telling that a cost center is a location, person, or item of equipment for which costs may be ascertained and used for the purpose of cost control. Okay, that is the meaning of cost center. The cost centers may be two. One is production cost centers, second one is service cost centers. Next one, unit of cost. Unit of cost differ to organizations to organization. Okay, right? What is the definition of that? Unit of cost is a small unit. Unit of cost is a small unit which is naturally to the business, and with which expenditure may most conveniently identified. For identification, we have to be categorized unit of cost for every organization. So, for example, bricks per 1000 bricks, electricity per unit, steel per ton, books for 1000 books. So, what is the expenditure for 1000 bricks? This is the 1000 bricks of expenditure. What is the sales price of 1000 bricks? This is the sales price of 1000 bricks. It is conveniently identified. That's why the unit cost is to be defined as under. And next one, what is meant by cost audit? Cost audit means check the each and every transaction. Those transactions are recorded in cost records. That transactions must be verified through Is it relevant to the organization or not? That is to be called as cost audit. Okay, it is very useful for external auditor. Okay, next one. The most important one is classification of cost. The classification of costs are, first one is elements. It is classified elements, functions, behavior, controllability and normality. Okay, elements. The elements are classified into three types. One is materials, labor and overheads. And again, materials are classified two types. One is direct materials. Next one is indirect materials. First one is direct materials. Second one is indirect materials. Next, labor, direct labor, indirect labor, overheads. Okay, direct expenditure and indirect expenditure. There also be two categories. Okay, one is direct expenditure, second one is indirect expenditure. Okay, elements are categorized in three ways. One is direct material, one is materials, labor and overheads. Okay, in materials, direct materials, and second one is indirect materials. Direct materials are those materials which can be easily identified, that is to be called as direct materials. Once again I am telling that materials are classified into two ways. One is direct materials, indirect materials. Direct materials means direct materials are those materials which can be easily identified, that is called direct materials. For example, clay in the manufacturing of bricks, wood in the manufacturing of furniture, etc. Next one, indirect materials. Indirect materials is not easy to identify in production process. So it is helpful. It is this material, that means indirect materials, very helpful for manufacturing process. But the direct materials cannot be easily identified. For example, consumable stores, cotton, lubricant oil, etc. Okay, once again, materials are classified into two categories. One is direct materials, second one is indirect materials. Direct materials means those materials which can be easily identified, then it is to be treated as direct materials. For example, clay in the manufacturing bricks, wood in the manufacturing furniture, etc. Indirect materials. Indirect materials means the indirect materials cannot be identified easily. For example, lubricant oil, next one consumable stores, cotton, etc. is to be that expenditure, so is to be treated as a indirect materials. Next one, labor. Labor is also be classified into two ways. One is direct labor, second one is indirect labor. First one is direct labor, second one is indirect labor. Okay, direct labor, wages paid to the workers, engaged in the process of raw materials converted into finished product. In the process of raw material converted into finished goods. At the time, if the organization paid wages, that is to be treated as direct labor expenditure. Okay, once again I am telling that wages paid to the workers engaged in converted raw materials to the finished product. At the time, wages paid, that is to be treated as direct labor. Next, indirect labor. Indirect labor means here they cannot engage in production process. They cannot engage in production process. For example, supervisor salary, manager's salary, etc. Next one, overheads. Overheads also be categorized in two ways. One is direct expenditure, second one is indirect expenditure. Direct expenditure means it is identified easily, it is allocated to the cost centers easily. That expenditure identified easily, that expenditure allocated to the cost center easily, that expenditure is to be treated as direct expenditures. Indirect expenditure. What is the meaning of indirect expenditures? Indirect expenditure cannot be conveniently identified, cannot be allocated easily, then it is to be treated as indirect expenditures. Okay, once again, the elements of cost is to be classified into three ways. One is materials, second one is labor, third one is overheads. Materials are classified into two ways. One is direct materials, indirect materials. Okay, second one, labor, direct labor, indirect labor. Third one, overheads, direct expenditure, indirect expenditure. Next one, classification of cost on the basis of function. On the basis of functions, on the basis of functions, the cost may be classified. The functions means here the cost classified at the time of manufacturing process, at the time of administrative process, at the time of sales and distribution process, the cost will be classified. So this process is to be treated as cost classified on the basis of function. At the time of preparation of cost sheet, factory cost, office cost, next one, sales and distribution cost, how to be categorized like that? That means costs are classified on the basis of function also. On the basis of function means cost classified on the basis of manufacturing. Costs are classified on the basis of administrative. Costs are classified on the basis of sales and distributions also. Next one, behavior. Costs are classified on behavior also. That is categorized variable cost, semi-variable cost, fixed cost. What is meant by variable cost? You know very well. If production increased, automatically expenditure will be increased. That is called variable cost. Semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost means partly fixed, partly variable. That is called telephone expenditure is one of the best example for that. Fixed expenditure. What is meant by fixed expenditure? If production is increased, the cost will be does not will be increased. That is called fixed expenditure. So on the basis of behavior, costs are categorized in three parts. One is variable cost, second one is semi-variable cost, third one is fixed cost. Next one, controllability. On the basis of controllability, costs are categorized in two parts. One is controllable cost, second one is uncontrollable cost. Controllable cost means each and every cost under control with the management, then it is to be treated as controllable cost. Uncontrollable cost. What is the meaning of uncontrollable cost? Means the cost cannot be in the hands of management. That is to be treated as uncontrollable costs. Next one, normality. Cost will be classified in two ways. on the basis of normality. One, normal and abnormal expenditures. Normal expenditure is common for all the business. Normal and abnormal. Abnormal means it is not in the hands of the company. Abnormal. So the abnormal expenditure, the abnormal costs is ignored at the time of price fixation. But normal expenditures are considered at the time of price fixation. So, once again, classification of costs. This is the most important thing. The costs are classified in 5 categories on the basis of elements, on the basis of function, on the basis of behavior, on the basis of controllability, and on the basis of normality. Right, on the basis of elements, okay, it is also categorized in 3 parts: materials, labor, and overheads. Materials, direct materials, indirect materials. Labor, direct labor, indirect labor. Overheads, direct expenditure, indirect expenditure. Material, direct material means it is easily identified in production process. The material cost will be definitely identified. That is called direct materials. Indirect materials. Indirect material cost cannot be identified easily. Next one, direct labor. The wages paid to the workers converted into raw material to the finished goods. That is called direct labor. Indirect labor. These are the persons are not engaged in production process. So, that labor, whenever we are paid the wages to that labors, that is called indirect labor expenditure. Next one, overheads, direct expenditure and indirect expenditure. So, the direct expenditure identified and allocated to the cost centers easily. That expenditure is to be called direct expenditure. Indirect expenditure, okay, not easily identified to cost centers. Which cost center that expenditure is allocated? We cannot identify it easily. It is common for all. That expenditure is to be treated as indirect expenditure. Next one, function. The costs may be defined. The cost may be defined on function wise. The costs are classified in function wise: manufacturing expenditure, administrative expenditures, and also be that sales and distribution expenditure. Next one, behavior. On the behavior, costs are classified: variable expenditure, semi-variable expenditure, and fixed expenditure. Controllability, controllable expenditures, uncontrollable expenditure. Normality, on the normality, again 2 categories. One is normal expenditure, abnormal expenditure. Normal expenditure are considered at the time of price fixation, but abnormal expenditure not allowed at the time of price fixation.